Okay, finally the seal came for the oil pickup. See if I can find the part number so it's a bit more clear for people. I've actually got a spare one because I bought two just in case it went wrong putting it together. So that was from Porsche directly. So only about £7 for the two. That's the part number they gave me. It's sort of a double flanged one. You can see there. Did look like the old one looked like it had oozed out and been trapped at the top, but this one seemed to wasn't a snug tight fit in the hole. But I did put, you can sort of see a bit of sealers oozed out, but basically it sort of fits in the hole, fits on the tube really tight, sits in the hole. Then as you tighten it down, you can see it sort of compress outwards a little bit, but it doesn't go overlap the hole like the other one had and sort of got trapped. Obviously where the bolt goes on, you can see the other one had got trapped in between the flange, because the flange where the bolt is can't really see there, slightly raised. But no, that's all gone on nice and snug. I torqued that one to 15 foot-pounds, 16 foot-pounds I think it was. And then these, I just nip these up tight. I don't want to torque out like that because I don't want to be snapping anything. So finally the pickup pipe's in place. Got the gasket ready. I've just been sorting out where the bolts go. I think there's 5 shorter bolts, and I believe there's 2. If you look on the sump, there's a bit of the sump which is smaller. I'll show you on the sump. There's sort of 2 areas here where it's shorter, and there's one just there. You can see where the bolt hole, obviously, so the flange is shorter, so that's 5 bolts altogether. I've got 5 shorter ones and all the rest are the same length, so I think that should be fine. I've put the little sender unit in. Did come with a gasket set in, the Victor Hines gasket set for that. I put sealer on it as well, just because of where it is and whatever. I mean, if it did leak or it's coming through where the electrical connection is, I'd just make a blanking plate and blank it off, but I don't think it will. So that's all in and ready. All this is all cleaned up previously. It has got these little sort of plastic locators there, which obviously locates the stud in the middle of the hole there and there. I don't know if it should have them in all of them. Maybe it should. It didn't. It doesn't really need it because you're going to seal around all of the stud holes anyway, so it's not like oil can come up the stud. But obviously they're just going to help it locate it in the right place. Possibly it should have them in all the holes, but I haven't got any. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. Because it's obviously got all that surface to seal on. I think some people are saying torque this up to 7 foot-pounds, something like that for the M6, and then some say tighten it up until it oozes the cork a little bit. But to be fair, the cork is really hard. It's not soft cork, so it's not going to give much at all. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a beader sealer on here, beader sealer on the sump. I use the RTV sort of high temp stuff. Never had a problem with that leaking. Seems pretty good. I'll put that on and then nip them all up, and then I think I'm going to go around and do more to 7 foot-pounds and see what that feels like. If that feels like they're really loose or they're not snug, I might do them a bit more. I'm going to put Loctite on all the bolts anyway, because some people have said, oh, you tighten it up until you start to see it sort of distort the gasket a bit, but it ain't going to do that. I don't think it's going to distort it much at all. You're not going to see it really. So I think it's a case of snug them up and then do them to the 7 foot-pounds, and then I'll probably go around with my small hand ratchet where I do the sump nuts on the air-cooled stuff, and I just know, that's about as much as you can give a M6 stud. And as long as if it's too tight, I think they say it cracks this or it makes it push out. And I don't think it's much easier with not neoprene or whatever they call it, the opposite sort of gasket that you can get, like the alternative. I think it's just as bad with them. So a bit of sealer and give it a snug up. If it leaks, apparently Porsche sort of when they originally put them on, I was reading up on it, originally put them on, it was quite common for the cars to come back and then they'd nip all the bolts up a little bit more, and that was it. You know, once the corks gave way a little bit. What I'm going to do, the reason I'm doing this today, I'm not normally here on a Sunday, the reason I'm doing it today is because I want to flip the engine over and start putting the heads on. But I don't want to do the gasket and then flip it straight over and let it sit the weight uneven on the gasket. I'd rather do the gasket today, let it dry overnight, and then sort it out tomorrow. So I've pretty much got everything. I've not got the bushers for the tensioner yet. I've not got the bushers for the tensioner yet. They should be coming on the 15th. But I've got all the heads, etc. to put on and sort out. But at least this way, once I've got the sump on, I can flip it over and get on with other stuff. I did sort of put some oil in here before I put the pickup tube on and just rotate the pump a bit and get plenty of oil in there. I am going to whiz that round before I put the cam bolt on with it when the heads are on, and try and get some oil pressure up, get some oil around it a bit more. But I will, when I finally start it, I will start it with turn it over with no fuel and no spark, and the plugs out, and wang it over until I get up good oil pressure and the oil light goes out, and then I'll leave it, check the oil and do it again, which is what I normally do on everything I do and never normally have a problem. So yeah, I'll just do a little video when the sump's on, tell you how it went, but that's all sorted.